cinema matinee. I ain't got $7.50 to pay. Everybody now.
You picked the wrong guy with a silly Boston accent to f with.
Well, you can do whatever you want to do to him, but you don't kill his son or his wife or his daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Or abduct them.
Oh, yeah.
You better give him back his son.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, if you're working at 7-Eleven, don't shortchange him a nickel. You know what I mean? You forgot my knuckle, you motherfucker.
Mel Gibson hasn't acted in 8 years. What's going to bring him out and what's the first thing he's going to do? But something he thinks is the epitome of a Mel Gibson film.
By the way, I'm sure he has made a film. I'm sure he's on that video of police tape in the car. So.
So it's Martin Campbell, right? Who's like a great action director.
Yeah.
He did two of the best James Bond films.
And
really
Zorro
ever.
and...
He got his big break directing a BBC miniseries of this, Edge of Darkness.
Oh, really?
In 1986, and it swept the BAFTAs.
Mel Gibson is a Boston homicide detective. Craven. It's almost like he can have his own Craven. Yeah. He can have his own 70s show. Craven. I'm sorry, did I spit on you?
You were excited.
Would you like a rag? He begins an aggressive and murderous investigation of his daughter, which leads to a lot of corporate corruption and a very metrosexual Danny Houston. Even Ray Winston is like softened down a little bit for this movie to the point where, as you mentioned, like he's sneaking up on people. He's like a cleaner in this movie.
Softened down to be a complete and utter scary badass who doesn't need to act like a big mother. He's this very toned down guy that knows if he wants to kill you, you would be dead already.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He had all the moves of a guy who's cool and collected, but he didn't really do nothing. I mean, I'm like, you know what? You can talk all you want. You're just a big fat limey.
A lot of the scenes he had doing this.
He was worse than Brad Pitt in Snatch. I couldn't understand a fucking way to say.
Mr. Craven, we have things to talk about.
Like your name and what you're doing here?
Like who shot your daughter.
You know who shot my daughter?
Your daughter was flagged as a possible terrorist threat to the United States of America.
The sneaking up thing was kind of silly to me. I mean, because it was almost comical the way people turn around like, oh, you know what I'm like?
I was looking at the trailer and I'm like, how is a guy as big and fat as Ray Winston just going to sneak up on you in your own backyard?
You know, he knocked over about 5 trash cans, fell over the fence, you know.
Yeah, the smell of that Wendy's hamburger hit you before he got there.
Yeah, he gets up, he's still wiping trash up. Oh, hey, I'm the guy you can't hear coming up. Mel Gibson's like, I heard your fat ass from across the street. This guy, he's just not wearing shoes. You know, so.
It seemed like, okay, here's the start for this character is going to be important. Okay, he is important at the end, but it felt like there were like 8 or 9 scenes with him missing to explain how we got there.
Emotional investment part was having his daughter brutally murdered right there in his arms. From there, there's a lot of running around and investigating. People get killed. One thing I got to say about Mel Gibson in this movie, don't talk to him. Because anybody who talks to him dies.
Because every time he goes to talk to someone, he's like, look, I can't talk to you. They will kill me. Talk to me now. Look, I can't talk to you. Oh, look, they killed me. See, I told you.
That's one of the things I liked about the movie, even though it was telegraphed from a mile away, but it still made you jump. It's like when Mel Gibson was talking to somebody, they let you know it got real quiet. And that's when, bam, somebody got killed. Audiences are going to go in and not like the slow pace of this either, because this is not so much an action film like the trailer's telling you. This is a detective film.
What's really weird is it's also a very quiet movie. There's not a lot of score to a lot of these scenes.
And they let you know about the halfway point of the film, what, pretty much how it all lays out. And the rest of it is watching what Mel Gibson does about that.
Well, look at Danny Houston's hair. You know he's the evil guy.
You know what? Any guy who spends that much money on his hair and doesn't own a salon is a villain.
In his hair, he should be wearing spoiler alert.
I think his hair is going to win an Emmy.
I like the movie. I think the biggest problem with this movie for me is just a little too slow, man, and it has a lot of unnecessary stuff in there. Where you say that it's a television series, it makes more sense now because I can see them trying to fit a lot of that series in here. Give it a matinee. It was a good movie, but it has some problems.
And it has problems with the pacing in the first half. But man, when there's payoff, there's major payoff in the film. And like I said, it's really smart.
You guys have actually covered everything. I mean, every goddamn thing I was going to say about the movie. So I'll just come in and just say, I'm giving it matinee too.
This is a full price movie for me. I absolutely loved it. I love that it's a slow burn thriller. I love that it takes its time, and when it gets going, it really gets going. It's not a film that relies on its action set pieces. It relies on the writing.
Half these movies, I think they just put the camera on Mel Gibson and he's running around the city.
Somebody actually kidnaps one of his kids.
He's like about to set some homeless guy on fire. Where's my f***ing kids? I don't know what you're talking about. And they're like, wait, just let the camera roll. This is good shit right here.